motivating and empowering women. Emphasizing knowledge of power to create, nurture, and transform lives to come. It's definitely going to be a great time in the Ladies Lounge tonight with your host, Kathy B. To advertise on Ladies Lounge, contact Kathy B at kathyb@sourceradionetwork.com. Now, here's your host, Kathy B.
Good evening, and welcome to the Ladies Lounge. I am your host, Kathy B. We have about 2 hours before we lose the live feed. Telephone number to reach us tonight is 619-924-0933. Again, 619-924-0933. Well, you guys know that I have some amazing ladies in the studio with me. We had the opportunity on last week to speak to some wonderful ladies in reference to this brand new book series, and I am excited to have them back in the studio again tonight. Of course, we're speaking of Women Inspiring Nations, but before I let you guys know who I have in the studio with me, I want to let you all know that we are still wanting you all to participate in the Love Zone Monday Book Club. That's right. You can go out onto Kathy B, Source Radio Network, as well as our main station page, Source Radio Network, and then head over to the Love Zone Monday Book Club, where inside the book club you can find amazing articles that we're speaking on that platform every single Monday night, and definitely join myself and Dr. D. Yvonne Young at 7 and 8 for more information when it comes to longevity, love, and success. So definitely tune in every single Monday for Love Zone Monday. Now, of course, this show tonight is brought to you by some amazing people, and I want to thank them because it would not be possible without them, and they are Zulina Health, Wellness, and Fitness, Paper to Film Productions, Revolution Mills, and Renovations. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go to a quick break, and I'm going to come back with Dr-Rene Minter. So let's take a quick break, and on the other side, Dr-Rene Minter here in the studio with me.
We'll be back, Source Radio Network, after this commercial break.
Source Radio Network is just one of the many platforms that is used to fulfill dreams of our listeners and create a purpose that will impact the lives of our communities, cities, and the world. It is often said that great things will happen when a group of driven people work together to accomplish one goal. We're giving people the opportunity to have a voice, translate words that haven't been heard, and paint pictures that no one has seen. Source Radio Network is fueling your life's purpose. How can you listen? www.blogtalkradio.com/Source Radio.
In a state See, all I ever wanted was someone to keep it real and to understand how I feel. Someone who wouldn't play the field, and his love for me would never stop or yield. Never fade, never fail, never leave. Never be afraid to give your heart to me. Never steal, never lie, never cheat. Never give up on me and our dreams. I have a vision, I see it with precision. My mission is becoming your best decision. Your only choice, I wanna hear your voice. Say I do. And the rest of my life I'll prove to you this was the only thing we could do. This thing is so much bigger than me and you. Bigger than me and you. I said it's bigger than me and you. It's bigger, 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 so much bigger. Bigger than me and you. I'd almost given up on the day that someone would come and love me the way I want to be loved. I need to be loved. They say it's just an old cliche. Nobody loves that way anymore, but I need that love. Never fade, never fail, never leave. Never be afraid to give your heart to me. Never steal, never lie, never cheat. Never give up on me and our dreams. I have a vision, I see it with precision. My mission is becoming your best decision. Your only choice, I wanna hear your voice. Say I do. And the rest of my life I'll prove to you this is the only thing we could do. This thing is so much bigger than me and you. I said it's bigger, 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 so much bigger, bigger than me and you. See, no one's perfect, but we fit so well. Stay committed to this purpose and we won't fail. No, love unconditional through all our flaws. Stay humble and forgiving, and we can have it all. 'Cause it's bigger than me and you. It's bigger, 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 bigger than me and you. Bigger, 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 bigger than me and you.
Welcome back, Source Nation. Now here's your host, Kathy B.
Welcome back, Source Nation. Welcome back. You're listening live right here on the Ladies Lounge. I am your host, Kathy B. We have about an hour and 45 minutes before we lose the live feed. Telephone number to reach us tonight is 619-924-0933. Again, 619-924-0933. Well, you guys know that we kicked off last week a brand new book series, and I'm so excited to be speaking with some amazing women. Now, the brand new book that you all need to go get in 2018 is Women Inspiring Nations. Now, if you have not heard and you're brand new to the Ladies Lounge, let me give you a little bit of information about the book and then bring in my amazing guest. Now, this book is designed to feature women who are using their gifts for the greater good, taking their gifts beyond the boundaries of their own zip code and being intentional about inspiring others by sharing their story, their lessons, and their knowledge. Now, each contributing author author will share their story about how they discovered their unique gift or calling in spite of life distractions, what challenges they may face along the way to walking in their greatness. Oh, how I love that. Now, how they found and drove their focus to commit to the process, the most pivotal lessons they've learned, what fears they have faced, and how they now use their gifts to impact and inspire others. Now, my amazing guest, and I'm so excited to have her here in the studio, is Dr-Rene Minter. I do believe that she's here in the studio with me. Dr. Rene, how are you? And welcome to the Ladies Lounge.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you, thank you. Well, Dr. Minter, you know that I did not give you a bio justice, and I tell you why. We've had the opportunity really to begin to share you with the ladies here in the lounge and everyone listening to the Ladies Lounge tonight. But if you will, please, could you take a moment to introduce yourself to the Source Nation family, and we'll jump into the conversation from there.
Well, hello, family. My name is Reverend Dr-Rene Minter. I am a psychotherapist. I'm a life coach. I'm an educator. I'm a social worker. I'm a mom, a grandmom. But most importantly, I am a grateful and teachable servant of God and man.
Love it. Well, Dr. Minter, again, thank you so much for coming in and definitely being here and giving us the opportunity to speak with you tonight. Now, of course, you know, we have been speaking on this wonderful book. I'm so excited for you all, and the book that we're speaking on is Women Inspiring Nations. Now, if you don't mind, let me ask you, what is your contribution to the book, and why was it so important to share your journey?
Well, I think that I have a story that many people can identify. I faced a series of challenges, more physically than anything else, and my story is a story of miraculous faith and healing, and that has led me to answer my calling to help other women to empower themselves and to lead them to healing.
Love that. Now, with that said, share with us a little bit about the story and some of the things that you've been able to do along your journey.
Well, okay. I think when I described who I was, the first thing I said was a minister. And, you know, when we think about ministers, we think about those who work specifically in the faith-based community, which I am, an ordained minister, but to minister means to care for the needs of others. So I have been able to use my skills as a social worker, my skills as a healer, my skills as a psychotherapist, my skills as a minister to treat the entire person, the mind, the body, and the spirit. So I'm so grateful that God has allowed me to diversify myself for his good.
I love that. I love that. The fact that you've been able, just as you said, God has given you the amazing opportunity, the talent to use your calling in different areas. Now, here on this platform, Dr. Minter, we often talk about faith. We often talk about being able to thrive and be successful in our businesses, in our homes, careers, or just being successful and being grateful that we are women. So let's talk about that. I find that very important, especially when we are in transitioning and we're trying to still hold down a home, take care of the children, and be successful in our careers. Talk to us a little bit about that, because just as you said, you have been able to do many different things. Talk to us about coping and being able to do so.
Well, I have to say that I can do all things through my God, and it is having a relationship with God, and that relationship based on trust. I have to trust God to lead my footsteps. So for me to say I've just been able to get up and do all of these things myself, no, it has clearly been through the grace of God. I do have to add in, though, that I have had my struggles. I've had what I call the Jobette moments. I've had, like Job, I have suffered. I've actually suffered with paralysis twice. I've lost my voice. I've lost my ability to walk. But through the miraculous healing of God, I was able to come back to learn how to speak again, to have a voice for those who can't speak, and also to learn to walk again and to use my footsteps for the better of my mankind. So depending on God, relying on God, having a relationship with God, remaining prayerful has really been my coping technique that's gotten me to the point where I am today, where I can help others and encourage others.
I love that. Very powerful. And I find that to be extremely important. You know, just as you were speaking, I always talk about some of the challenges that I have or I had along my journey. And I often say that this was a blessed journey, that this was my journey that God wanted me to take, because I've been in broadcasting now for about 24 years. And probably about maybe 5-6 years ago, Dr. Minter, I decided that I wanted something different. So I was going through life's transition. Not only was I going through transition with career, but I had a marriage that was failing years before that. And then, of course, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So all of this was happening to me. And when I look back on it, I'm saying, you know what? I'm so thankful and blessed that God gave me that assignment. He gave me that assignment to show me how strong I am. But not only that, for me to understand that He is there for me and I need to lean on Him. And it was so important for me to know that and to understand that, and for me to know that my faith should never waver when I'm in a position like that. So I want to talk to the ladies about that, not wavering and always having faith that God is going to constantly be there for you and with you. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Jeremiah 29:11 is actually my favorite scripture in the Bible, and it talks about knowing that God has a plan for you, and that the plan is for you to prosper, not to harm, and to come to a favorable end. So when I'm going through the backside of the valley, when I'm having that Jobette experience, that's when I have to realize that in order for there to be that rainbow, there has to be the rain. And to know that God is on the other side and that God is orchestrating this. Also recognizing that for every challenge that I go through, it's a teachable moment. So to look at these transitions and to look at these detours and to look at these minor pitfalls, these are all teachable moments, and it's going to get me to the other side a better person, and also to be able to teach someone from what I've actually learned.
Powerful. I love that. Now, I want to stay right there because I find that that is very important too. A teachable moment. Now, what if we are in a predicament where it is a teachable moment, but we're not wanting to face it? What are your thoughts on that? Being fearful of that moment, especially if it's repetitive.
Okay. Well, again, I'm involved in ministry, but I've had a relationship with God all of my life. And I know that the Word of God tells me to be anxious for nothing. And I have to believe that God is going to deliver me. So when my will is failing me, when my will to hold strong and just to believe in God, I have to let God's will take over. So I'm always in the point of recognizing that God is in control, and regardless of what man says, regardless of what the outcome looks like, and, you're talking to someone who just 5 years ago couldn't walk and who can walk now. So even though the outcome looks bleak, I still have to go back and rely on God. So I have to put my own will down and let God's will be done.
I love that. I love that. Now, in your story, what point in the story did you feel you had to share? What part of the story that you had written that you feel people will take something away from it and can really learn from what you shared? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. One of the things that I know that my story is about, it's not just the incredible faith and the miraculous healing, but it's also about giving back. So I'm not one of the ones that is fortunate enough to have a calling to work in a Fortune 500 type of situation. I'm the one who works with the drug addicts. I'm the one who works with the people that are living and dying with HIV. I recognize that this gift, this second gift, the ability to be able to speak again, the ability to be able to walk again, cannot be taken lightly, and that it has to be given away. So I humble myself, but I also am very proud of the work that I do with the people that many people don't want to work with. So I travel to Africa, and I work with the orphans, and I work with people who are suffering with HIV and AIDS. I work in Harlem. I live here in New York. I work in Harlem, and I'm down in the subways, and I'm working with the people who are sleeping on the tracks. I'm working with them, trying to show them that there is another way, that there is resiliency, and that's my story. My story is coming back from incredible odds and how I can teach someone else to do the same thing.
And that's what, and I love that, because as you were sharing that story, that was one of the things that I thought about, being able to come back from what you may feel is tragic, but yet you are triumphing through. And that's what some of, the ladies that we had here on the show, past shows, and the ladies that are listening have written in and have just said that, I felt like I was doing such a great thing, whether it be in my career or whether it be in something that I was very passionate about, but I failed, and I just don't know how to come back from that. That failure can cripple you and become a fear as well. So I love the fact that you're saying that you want to minister, or you want to help others that just need a helping hand. And I love the fact that you're not turning away from that, because so many people do.
Yeah.
Many people will say, well, they should help themselves. And I'm raising my hand because I'm one to believe I will help you if I see you help yourself. And that was just the way that I was taught. And then one day you may just see me just all of a sudden just help without anyone saying I need to help. I'm that side of the coin as well. So I believe that's very beautiful in what you just said. And I also believe that people can be that way and be that genuine also. So what else in your story are you sharing that you feel is very important for us to know as well?
Well, I just want to point out that, we see people do great things all the time, and I am no greater than anyone else. But what I want to say is great things can be done, the greatest things can be done in obscurity. That to even come forward with this book, I recognize that I need to come forward because I need to encourage other people. But it's not for me. It's not for me to get vainglory from all of this, but it's just to show other people that everyday people like myself can do great things and they can impact others. And if there's nothing else that comes out of this, then to God be the glory for that.
I love that. I love that. Source Nation, we are speaking with Reverend Dr-Rene Minter. She's sharing with us about her journey in the brand new book coming out in 2018, Women Inspiring Nations. Now, Dr. Minter, I want to talk a little bit more in reference to what you were sharing tonight. Thank you again. Such beautiful things that you are sharing with us and saying. Now, I want to talk about the receptive part of what you placed in the book. Of course, you mentioned that you have been ministering and you've had God in your life, all of your life, and what you've been able to do in your career. Let's talk about that. How receptive in reference to your story that you placed in the book and what you've shared with others prior to the book coming out?
Many people, unless you've worked with me and saw the struggles, saw me falling on the floor and not being able to walk, many people don't know that side of the story. And I think it's a brave move for me to come out and do that. But I will say that I'm very well respected here in New York. I taught college for many years. I've had a Christian-based psychotherapy practice for about 20 years now. I've been a social worker. So I've done a lot of things that are well respected in the community and also in the faith-based community. And I'm very proud of those things, but I'm just so humbled that God has been able to use me to do those things. So I'm respected in the business community, respected as an entrepreneur, and I'm also respected in the faith-based community, and I'm just grateful for that.
Awesome. Now, let's talk about the fact of what you're doing in regards to ministry, and you stated that you worked with in the social work. Talk to us about that, and how are you reaching the people in that aspect?
Okay. I've actually been an administrator of many nonprofit organizations. So right now I'm working with addicts. I'm working with, we know that there's a big opiate epidemic going on. So I'm actually working with addicts right now and teaching them another way, teaching them some of the tools that they can use to prevent using just 1 day, 1 hour at a time. I've been very fortunate to work with children who have been sexually abused and molested, and getting them to the point where they can have self-worth. So I'm very, very happy when they come back to me years later and they're in college and they're, and they're doing their thing. Working with women who have been in domestic violence relationships, teaching them the skill building that they need so that they can sustain themselves outside of those relationships. One of the greatest things that I've been able to do is to do end-of-life social work, to hold the hand of someone who's dying of HIV and AIDS, and to have them transition on with dignity. And I think that's probably the greatest thing that I've done and probably the most difficult thing that I've done. So if it's teaching students on a college level how to do what I do, I'm grateful for that. But I'm just grateful that I can be in the midst, that I can be with the people, and that I haven't gotten so big that I can't be humble enough to help someone. So I'm just very grateful for all the opportunities that my social work degree has given me and that my attending seminary and getting my doctorate in ministry, I'm so grateful that all of that has merged together so that I can serve man even better.
Wow. I love that. And I was just thinking of just some recent things that have been happening in the news lately. Just as we've had an opportunity to speak with women about domestic violence, I want to get your views on something. In reference to what we've been hearing, a lot of women have come forth, Dr. Minter, and stated that they had been sexually assaulted by some prominent men in our world today. I mean, they mentioned Roy Moore, they mentioned Judge Harvey Winston, prominent men, even some actors that we know, Russell Simmons, to name a few, a very prominent businessman and entrepreneur, and all of that. So let's talk about that. And if you've worked with a woman that has been sexually assaulted by a man of a prominent stature, or possibly your thoughts of what's happening today, what are your feelings about that, and how would you go about speaking to a woman that has been in that position?
Okay. I've certainly had the opportunity many times over the years, and I think Maya Angelou, there's a quote from one of her books that says, we did what we did until we knew better, and once we knew better, we did better. And I think arming women with positive self-esteem and showing them that there is self-worth, and that if we can learn the skills so that we can sustain ourselves, and that if we can remain teachable and learn that healing is a process, that it is a process that takes time, but it is a process that can happen, that we can turn our situation around to our better. So encouraging women, helping them find their self-worth, regardless of how many bumps and bruises someone may have experienced, there is still something redeemable. So helping them find that one piece, that if that's the only string that they have to hold on, let's cultivate that so that we can do better and that we will be better. So supporting the mental health, I've been involved in even relocating people. But if that's what needs to be done, finding the elements to build up that woman so that she can be sustainable once again.
I love that. And as you were saying that, I am very big, Dr. Minter, on communication. And I really feel in this area, when I listened to some of the women's accounts and the things that they're sharing, I am very happy that they are coming forward, meaning that for all these years, for whatever reason, they had some form of fear to where they could not speak out. Now they have given voice and have given light to the fact that women are being sexually assaulted. It doesn't matter if it's the next door neighbor. Now it's a man that has built himself up in the business world or in the entertainment arena, and they're doing things that are not right. So now we're giving voice to something that has been swept up under the rug for years. And when I hear these stories, and I've heard people say, well, why would someone tell a story that happened 20 years ago? The statute of limitations, doesn't that even matter in this case? And I'm like, no, it doesn't, because it happened. And the fact that person has gotten away with it for so long, yes, you need to talk about it. You do. So I commend you when you are speaking with people that have gone through that situation and giving them the opportunity to have a voice. I find that to be very amazing.
Well, thank you, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And I just want to say that it's not just here in America. I've seen it in Africa also, and I'm hoping that the movement will move forward globally, and that in places where this is commonplace, it will no longer be commonplace. The voices cannot be silenced.
That's right. I've actually been doing a abnormal psychology class, and the one thing that I just written a paper on, which was Psygender, where this is young people are having the opportunity to speak about their sexual orientation and identifying with their gender, whether it be female or male, and if this is what they're wanting to do. And, of course, I stated that society frowns upon the fact that if a young male decides that he wants to be a female, or he actually identifies himself as female but in a male body, why would we judge that? To me, it's their preference. And why shouldn't we be of acceptance? So let's talk about that in reference to younger generation. Have you come across that, or what are your thoughts?
I have come across that, and it is the individual's journey. It is their journey. It is not my journey. And, my Bible says for me not to judge. If my job is to provide mental health services for that particular patient, whether they are male transitioning to a woman, or a female transitioning to a male. My job is to provide services without discrimination. So mental health and helping, the idea behind mental health is to help someone to operate at their optimal best. So that's what my job is. So I can't confuse prejudice in that. If someone's seeking help, I have to accept them as they are. Come as you may. And that's what the Lord says.
I love that. Now, my next question, being that we're speaking on mental health, what are your thoughts in reference to the African American community? And this was something that I've written on also. The mental illness. Why aren't we able to focus on mental illness within the African American community? Why is it shunned to say we need to have some form of counseling, especially within our families and our household?
Okay.
What are your thoughts on
that? I have thoughts that actually it's a double whammy. It's not just the African American community, but add on to it the faith-based African American community. And I'm very grateful that I'm a Christian-based African American, obviously female psychotherapist, but I have been able to reach out to many of the churches here in Long Island and in New York City, and the churches are coming around. And a lot of times the church is the spearhead for what the morale will be for the community. So if you're able to discuss the need for someone to receive chemotherapy for cancer, why can't we discuss the need for someone to receive treatment for depression? So I'm very grateful that I'm seeing within both the African American community and the faith-based community the recognition for the need of optimal mental health services, and that there are services provided by African Americans for those two communities.
Great. I love that. Great information you're sharing there. So if you will, Dr. Minter, what more would you want to share with Source Nation and ladies in the lounge and everyone that's listening tonight about your part of the book?
Well, again, my part of the book is really about faith, and it's about resiliency. And, my chapter starts out about seeing, having an actual vision at the age of 6 of what I would be doing. So the book, my chapter, goes through the hills and the valleys and all of the different detours that I went to get back to the point of that vision that I saw at the age of 6. So it's kind of an interesting ride. It's a bumpy ride, but I think it's one of resiliency, and I think it's one that will encourage and empower women. And if I can do it, they can do it also.
Awesome. Well, I enjoyed having you here in the lounge with us and giving great information in reference to your contribution in the book and what you've been able to do. What we like to do, Dr. Minter, as we are ending our conversations, we always like to leave either with encouraging word or maybe some tips and advice that we have not shared in tonight's conversation. If you wish to contribute, we'd love for you to do so at this time.
Well, if there was just one thing that I would say is look for the rainbow. I mentioned earlier that we have a lot of rain, we have a lot of storms in our life, but always look for the rainbow. And the rainbow represents God's covenant of a covering for us. So always see the storm, remain teachable, but look for that rainbow.
Love it. And if you will, please, Dr. Minter, share with everyone listening tonight, how can we get more information about you and continue to support you in your efforts?
Okay, well, we're actually working on a website now. we've been very quiet about all of this, and I guess now is the time to work on the website. But if you needed to find out any more about myself or my sister co-authors, I would go on to Facebook, Win Book 18. I think we're starting to pre-order now, but I would just encourage people to, if they can, pick up the book. I'm encouraged in listening to my sister's stories, and I'm hoping that I will be an encouragement to others. But for now, go onto Facebook, Win Book 18, and I'm also on Facebook. You can click onto me in Facebook. On some of the other social medias, you can find me. And as soon as the website comes up and when the next book comes up, I'll be sure to let you know.
I love it. Well, Dr. Minter, again, thank you so much for being here in the lounge with me and giving us the opportunity to hear your amazing journey. And definitely look forward to hearing more great things from you real soon.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Source Nation, you heard it right there from Dr-Rene Minter, Reverend Dr-Rene Minter. She's given us some great information in reference to her contribution in the book, Women Inspire Nations. What I love most about this conversation that Dr. Minter and I have had is the fact that she spoke about having faith. Source Nation, this is something that we have often spoken about here on this platform, having faith and knowing that God will always be there for us and with us. The fact that we may be having challenges does not mean that we cannot move on and continue to strive for success and do better with what we like to do in our lives. And the fact that we have faith is amazing within itself. The fact that God is always going to be there is a great thing. So I love exactly what Dr. shared. All of her information and more can be found on Kathy B, Source Radio Network, as well as our main station page, Source Radio Network. Well, we're not done yet. No, because we have another beautiful young lady coming inside the studio to share her amazing journey. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, and on the other side, I will have my next guest here in the studio with me. You're listening live right here on the Ladies Lounge. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
We'll be back, Source Radio Network, after this commercial break.
This program is brought to you by Paper to Film, Revolution Mills, Scott Cares Foundation, and Urban Grandstand Digital. Source Nation, join us 7 days a week Eastern Standard Time for Everything with Kathy B. On Mondays, join us from 6 to 7 for Family Mix Mondays with licensed professional counselor Jaquitra Bryant. From 7 to 8, we have Love Zone Mondays with Kathy B. And from 8 to 9, join us for the second hour of Love Zone Mondays with Kathy B. and Dr. D. Yvonne Young as they discuss topics that will help you strive for longevity and success in your relationships. On Tuesdays, join us from 6 to 8:30 for Sports Tuesdays with Steve Manderson. On Wednesdays from 6 to 7, we have Power Over Tomorrow with our resident financial advisor, Tyrone S. Mitchell. At 7, tune in for all of your political highlights on The Political Corner with Kevin Hezekiah. And from 8 to 9, join us for The Pendulum with Dr. Samori Swigert. On Thursdays, join us for our Healthy Cooking, Fitness, and Living segment. At 6, we have Healthy Cooking with Chef Keith. At 6:30, join us for The Right Workout with fitness specialist Vita McNeil Wright. At 7, tune in for Transforming Your Mind with licensed couple and family therapist, Shy Porter. Join us at 7:30 for Healthy Living with our resident naturopathic physician, Dr. Jalisa. On Fridays, join us from 6 to 8 in the Ladies Lounge with Kathy B. From 8 to 9, tune in for Can We Talk with Master Relationship Coach Myra McKnight. And every fourth Friday, join us for Couples Talk with Dr. Ken and Myra McKnight. On Saturdays, join us for two amazing shows with host James Johnson. From 2 to 4, we have Indie Soul Saturdays, and every fourth Saturday, join us from 4 to 5 for the Indie Soul Saturdays Artist Countdown. Tune in as we play your top indie artists' songs for the month. Finally, every Sunday evening, join us for Mailbox Sundays. From 6 to 8, join us for Renaissance Relationship Therapy with Life Purpose Coach Tim T. And finally, from 8 to 9, join us for Practical Principles for Kingdom Living with Pastor Kenny Smith. Tune in as Pastor Smith shares principles designed to help build your relationships with God and others. Join us 7 days a week here on the Source Radio Network.
took